Hi, Courtney here of Creations by Courtney, the place where you'll find size-inclusive garment patterns, accessories, as well as tutorials so I can help the modern crocheter curate the handmade closet. And if you stay tuned, you'll see a variety of videos on my channel related to unboxing of yarns, notions, and more, yarn reviews, stitch tutorials, as well as things related to tricky spots within some patterns that I designed. Again, I'm here to help you, the modern crocheter, curate your handmade closet. And I do the first one like a linked stitch. It just looks neater to me, but you can start yours in the way that you prefer. And if you're not a fan of foundation stitches, you can always chain. Since we're going to have a total of 48, you need to chain. Well, if you use 2, you need to chain 50. If you use 3 chains, chain 51. But this is the first one. So we're going to continue across and again work under both bars. Work under both bars, pull up a loop, pull through 1, that makes the chain, yarn over, pull through 2. And just continue like this until you have a total of 48. And let's meet back at the end of the first row. Now that we have 48 foundation double crochet, we're going to turn our work and we're going to do a chainless starting double crochet and double crochet in each stitch across. If you're not familiar with the chainless starting double crochet, you can turn your work clockwise or counterclockwise, whichever works for you. I do it both ways, but I do like to make sure that my loop is untwisted. You pull up to the height of the row, wrap the yarn around the hook, insert into the first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through the loop and the first one, and then yarn over, pull through 2. And then we'll just double crochet in each stitch across. So I'll see you back at the end of this row, because row 3 is where the fun starts, and that's where we are going to add in our second color and begin making the first leaf. All right, so now that we are almost to the end, and if you started your first foundation double crochet like I did, like a linked stitch, in order to make that edge nice and smooth, what I do is go under, the hook will stay, and pull part of that top chain, and it just kind of pulls it all in. And there we go. And it's nice and neat. Now we're going to turn our work, and for row 3, if you're referring to the pattern while working on this, we're going to do a chainless starting double crochet, and then we're going to double crochet in the next 23 stitches. Alrighty, so we now have 24 stitches, right? Count to make sure, because it should be half of the total row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, so now this is where we will want to grab our second color. And if you have extra, because I'm working with a single skein of the Farmer's Daughter, this is a cheat for working with that single skein and stash busting. So let's take the second color, which I'm using We Crochet Swish DK in Marina. Okay, so I'm going to leave a tail that's long enough to hide later. Okay, so since we're going to change the color, I'm going to take this double crochet out just one step, right? Because when we change our color, we want to make the pull through in the new color. All right, and just let that tail, actually I'm going to pull that out a little bit more. Give me a generous amount. And just the main color, we're just going to kind of keep it out of the way. And so we're actually going to work between these two stitches. Rather than having an odd number, I like working with even. So we're going to double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet all in between the next two stitches. And remember, in changing the yarn color, for that last pull through, switch back to the main color. And so these are both DK weights, but the swish is a little loftier, has more air in it. And so this is the beginning of our leaf, working between the two. And so now, dropping the second color to the back, we're just going to double crochet all the way to the end. And so while working the leaf, this will increase the total number of stitches per row, but we are going to maintain, it all works out. It doesn't make sense at first, but it does as we complete the entire leaf. And so just keep double crocheting all the way to the end, and I will see you back for the beginning of row 4. All right, now let's start row 4. So for the entire pattern, you will always have 24 double crochet at the beginning of the row and at the end of the row in the main color. And it's so awesome to keep it consistent because it's really easy. So this is definitely a project that you can do while watching or listening to something. So again, we do our chainless starting double crochet, which again, if you don't like this stitch, you can always substitute for a chain 2 or chain 3, whichever your preference is. I always use the chainless starting double crochet because there's no gap at the beginning of the row. So let's make our 24 double crochet. Well, the chainless starting double crochet and then 23. Oh, don't you love it when the yarn doesn't pull out smoothly? Okay, there we go. And let's keep going. So this is a great project for that one single skein of yarn, or maybe you have that one hank of hand-dyed yarn that you scored that time and you just weren't quite sure what to do with it. And so that was me. I had this one because I was like, oh, I'll make a cowl. And I didn't want to do something with just simple stitches, although this colorway is amazing. But you know, I had to make it add a little pop to it. And digging through the stash, I thought the Marina color complemented all of these gorgeous vibes, gorgeous fall vibe colors so well. Okay, almost there. And since we are working a wrong side row, that means you want to bring your color to the back, meaning you don't want your yarn tail showing on this side. You want it on this side. And the whole goal is to keep it so that you actually don't see the color through your work. So when we change the color, stop before that last pull through. Change to your second color. All right. And again, this is behind the work. And now we're going to back post double crochet. So insert your hook from front to back to front, yarn over. Ooh, there we go. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. So that's the first back post, right? So now we are going to double crochet, and this is where I like to pull up the first color. We're going to double crochet in the chain one, and then double crochet in the same space. And by holding the first color and then kind of tug it down towards the back so it doesn't show, it locks it in. And so now we're going to back post, double crochet around the next stitch. Again, bring your yarn to the back of your work, well, towards you. So right now what's facing you, change back to the main color, and let's just double crochet to the end. And I will see you. And so again, each row is 24 double crochet at the beginning, 24 double crochet at the end. So let's meet back after we finish the end of row 4 and have made the first double crochet and then the other 23 double crochet. And so we'll meet back on the right side of the work at the leaf. Alrighty, so for row 5 of the leaf, oops, muscle memory, right? All right, so don't forget you change to the color with that last yarn over and pull through. Okay, we're going to front post double crochet, so that is stick your hook to the back. And again, keeping yarn out of the way and back to the front, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. We're going to do that twice. I'm going to work around the front post. And if you want to lock in the second color, just drop it. Oops. It can be a little fiddly, but that locks it in at the back, and then move it out of the way, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. Oh goodness, we did a back post instead of a front post. All right, so again, work back to front. There we go. And then complete your front post double crochet. And here, this is a little different if you're familiar with the leaf stitch. So instead of doing another double crochet, chain one, double crochet in the chain one space, we're actually going to chain one. And this is where I like to lock in that color so it doesn't create a strand across the back that can, accidentally be pulled and mess up the tension. We're going to double crochet and then chain one, space of the row below, and then chain one. And now we're going to front post around the next, front post double crochet around the next 2 stitches. And again, drop your yarn to the back and then change back to your first color, and double crochet in each stitch to the end of the row. So just continue as we have established the 24 double crochet at the beginning, 24 double crochet at the end of the row, and I will see you back on row 6 at the leaf. Alrighty, so for row 6, again, this is a wrong side row. All right, remember, keep your yarn to the back of your work, which in this case is towards you. Change to the color with the last pull through. Again, yarn over. We're going to back post double crochet around the next 2 stitches. So that's 1. And this is 2. All right. Now, this chain 1, we're actually going to double crochet. This is a great opportunity to hold the yarn in place. And again, since we don't want it to show, I just tug it down here. All right. So we have a double crochet in the chain 1. Now we're going to back post, which seems weird, but it works. So back post around the next double crochet, chain 1, and back post again. So we're just going to do the exact same thing, like so, and it works. It looks slightly twisted from this side, but now we will double crochet into the next chain 1 space. Again, a nice little tug, and then back post double crochet around the next 2 stitches. And don't forget to change back to your main color. Again, drop the yarn out of the way, and this is a small amount that we'll need for the entire leaf. Like I said, this is a great stash buster. All right, pull that gently to maintain the tension, and then just double crochet in each stitch until the end of the row. And I will see you back in row 7 at the leaf. Alrighty. So for row 7, you've done your first double crochet, chainless, starting double crochet, and 23 more. All right. Keep your yarn to the back of the work. Yarn over with the second color. Oops. There we go. Now we're going to front post double crochet around the next 2 stitches. So that's 1 and that's 2. Now we're going to double crochet in the next stitch. And now we're going to front post around this one. And then chain 1, double crochet in the chain 1 space, and then chain 1, front post double crochet around the next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 front post double crochets. And again, keep the yarn to the back of the work. change back to your first color, and now double crochet to the end in each stitch to the end of the row. I will see you back in row 8 at the leaf. All right, so here we are at row 8, and you may notice that your piece is starting to curve. This is normal because of the added stitches here with the leaf. It seems weird, but trust the process. It will all come together when we are done. All right, so for row 8, again, change to your color with that last pull through, excuse me. And now we're going to back post double crochet around the next 2 stitches. That's 1 and that's 2. Now we're going to double crochet into the next stitch. If you're like me, the yarn likes to move all over the place and get in the way. All right, so we have our double crochet. Now we're going to back post double crochet around the next stitch. And we're going to double crochet into this chain 1. And now we are going to back post double crochet, chain 1, back post double crochet around this stitch post. And if it feels tricky, again, it helps to bend your work towards you and move the other one out of the way, because it does this kind of twisting. All right, and now we're going to double crochet into this chain 1, back post double crochet around the next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, and it helps to just tug it a little bit without too much, because you don't want to do what I just did and change the shape of this stitch here. And now 2 back post double crochets. So at this point, you might see the pattern of what we're doing. And that's why this looks complicated, but it's actually not that bad once you get the hang of it. Again, change back to the first color, and then double crochet in each stitch to the end of the row. So continue in pattern, and I will see you on row 9 at the leaf. All right, so now for row 9, this you can kind of think of as the middle of the leaf. And let's just take a look at this, right? So again, it's totally normal that your piece is bending due to the increases added through here. But with our post stitches, we're getting this lovely detail, right? And it kind of sticks up a bit, which is totally normal. And now for this middle row, we're just going to front post double crochet across. So easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? I hope other people say that. It is not just me. All right, so we have our chainless starting double crochet, the 23 double crochet, and now here we're going to front post double crochet, 6 times. So that's 2. This is 3. This is 4, 5, and 6. This is where I'm going to catch this yarn. So I pull it to the front and oops, there we go. Pull this to the front, make my post. Because of the nature of pulling the yarn through, it will actually flip this to the back and finish your front post. And then you just tug it gently to the back. And as you see, we have a few strands on the back side. So we're going to skip the chain 1 and we're going to front post double crochet around the next stitch. That's 1, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is one of those moments where I like to secure the yarn again so it doesn't get too loosey-goosey on the back side, and then number 6. And then again, drop that color and change. Excuse me. All right, tug that a little bit. And now we will double crochet in each stitch. To the end. And when we stop and take a look at it, there we go. So this is the widest part of the leaf. And again, kind of pulling it out, you see how the shape is starting to come together. So again, as we've been doing, double crochet in each stitch to the end, turn, a chainless starting double crochet, and then double crochet in the next 23 stitches. And I will see you at the leaf in row 10. Alrighty, so now that we have our last double crochet, all right, now we're going to start decreasing. All right, so we're going to back post double crochet 2 together around the next 2 stitches. It's a mouthful to say, but it's just like your typical decrease. So we will begin the back post and stop at that last yarn over and pull through. Wrap our yarn around the hook and then work around the next stitch. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. So that's the first one, and this is what it looks like on the back side. And so now we will back post double crochet around the next 8 stitches. So that's 1, this is 2, this is 3, and again, if you want to lock in that yarn, there we go. It's a little fiddly, there we go. Just kind of have to play with it to find what's comfortable for you. So that's 3. This is 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, wait a second. Did I miss a stitch? I did. I worked around those too. So you want to make sure that you're working around one post at a time. All right, so we're back to 2, and that happened because I was trying to secure the yarn. And it's okay if it pokes through because you'll just tug and then it disappears. All right, there we go. Let's do this again. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now we're going to back post double crochet 2 together again. So work around the first post, yarn over, pull through 2, and stop, yarn over, go around the next post, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over. And here, since we're going to change back to the first color, before you do your yarn over, change to the next color and pull through 3. Tug it a little bit, tighten up that loop, and then just double crochet in each stitch to the end of the row. And so if you want to check your work, you see it bows a little bit, but again, it all will come together. Okay, so I will see you on row 11 at the leaf. All right, so here we are for row 11. Again, don't forget to change your color in that last yarn over and pull through. So now we're going to front post double crochet 2 together around these 2 stitches. So it looks like 3, but remember this is the back post double crochet 2 together. So this is actually 1 stitch. So we're going to work around these 2. So again, work around the post. Okay, don't pull through, yarn over, go around the next post, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. That's your first front post double crochet 2 together. And now we're going to front post double crochet around the next 6 stitches. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you want to catch the yarn, pull the other color to the front. There we go. 5. And 6. So now we're going to do another front post double crochet 2 together. So work around the first post, yarn over, pull through 2 1 time, yarn over, work around the next post, yarn over, pull through 2, and then change back to your first color, yarn over, pull through 3. If you need to, just adjust that loop there, and then double crochet in each stitch to the end. I will see you at the leaf for row 12. Alrighty, so for row 11, we are going to back post, double crochet 2 together. All right, so just like before, and it can feel a bit tricky working around the post, especially with the other yarn there, but just kind of work your hook through there. And again, yarn over, pull through 1 time, yarn over, go around the next post, pull, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. And if you're like me, if you feel like this loop is too loose, just pull it all out, tighten it, and then just do it again. Again, it helps to kind of hold it in place. Flip it so you can really see your hook going around the post. Pull up that loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, work around the next post. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. And so naturally, in the nature of crochet, that top loop will loosen. So now we're going to back post, double crochet around the next 4. So that's 1, this is 2, 3, and 4. Again, kind of tug that, but not too much so it doesn't change this here. If it does, just kind of pull it back some. And now we're going to back post, double crochet 2 together. And each time is done the exact same way. Don't forget to change back to your first color with that last yarn over, pull through 3, and now double crochet in each stitch to the end of the row. And continue in pattern, and I will see you on the right side of the work at the front post, double crochets on the right side of row 13. Right, so here we are for row 13, and for the leaf, we're going to front post, double crochet 2 together, front post, double crochet around the next 2 stitches. So that's 1, and here is 2, and then we will front post, double crochet 2 together. Again, when we check our work, we see how the shape is starting to come back in. And so, just like with each previous row, we will double crochet in each stitch to the end of the row. And I will see you back for row 14 of the leaf. All right, so for row 14 of the leaf, after completing all of your double crochets, we're going to back post double crochet 2 together 2 times. Oops. So easy to miss that step. So remember, don't yarn over and pull through the second time. There we go. And now this is the second one. Drop that yarn to the wrong side of the fabric and pull through 3, tug that a little bit, and then double crochet. This is where you can tug it a bit to tighten up that first one, and then double crochet in each stitch to the end of the row. And I'll see you back here for row 15. All right, so for row 15, and this row includes the last part of the leaf, it's just front post, double crochet 2 together. Just like so. Oops, don't forget to change back to the main color. And so here you can tug. I like to flip it over. And again, you have some of the strands, which is totally normal, especially working with post stitches, and cut a tail that will be easy to weave in later. And then I'll move the second color out of the way. And let's just double crochet in each stitch to the end of the row. And then let's take a look at our leaf before we continue. And this will be a good time to check this first section of your cowl, since it will be worn with the leaves going horizontal rather than vertical. We want to make sure that after completing 3 sections, it will be wide enough that after seaming, you can easily pull it over your head. And if you want something a little larger in the circumference or even a little smaller, the easiest way to make adjustments are with the rows of double crochet between the leaves. All right, so we are at the end of the row. There we go. All right. So as I was saying, it bows a bit, but it all comes back, right? It bows. It still has a little bow in it, but that's because of all of these increases here. But again, it gives it a nice dimension. as we can see here. But then with the decreases, it brings it back almost straight. And again, this will even out once it's all seamed together. So let's take our tape measure and let's see how long of a piece we have. And again, you don't want to measure on top because of how it comes up. So picking an area over here, we're at 7 inches. And so each section should be about the same. So if we jumped right into another leaf, it'd be rather close together. But what we're going to do 2 rows of double crochet, and then we'll repeat. So more or less, this entire section is to repeat. So we're going to repeat this 2 times and then start the next leaf. So let's go ahead, work on that, and I'll show you the start of the second leaf because it's going to be the exact same thing. So if you push it down, it does kind of pop back up. But again, it's okay because when it all comes together, you're going to just love how this all looks. So I'll check back in with you at the start of this leaf, and then we'll check in again after we've completed this section 2 more times so I can show you how we're going to seam this in one piece and complete the edging. I'm so excited about this. I don't know why I didn't think of it sooner, but maybe you've done a cowl like this before. This is my first design like this, and I'm super excited because who wants to do all this extra cutting and weaving in? So check in with you soon. Again, we're going to repeat all of this 2 more times. Okay, so for row 16, what I forgot to say is that we're not going to work into this stitch here at the top of the leaf. We're going to literally just skip over that stitch, just like so. So we want to make sure that we maintain the stitch count. So we should have 24, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So we're going to skip over this because it's just like when we started it, we worked between the 2 stitches. So, and if you want to, you can kind of catch that yarn just to kind of keep it there too. Right? And again, we'll weave in all of the ends at the end. So making sure that we have 24, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, the yarn got tangled. And if you ever have to readjust your yarn, always undo that last stitch and redo it because it often gets tugged when we're trying to free more yarn. Of course, I forgot my count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. And so, again, if we turn our work, it has this similar appearance there and there. Rather than doing a decrease, you just skip it so that it's consistent. If you want a wider circumference, you can do more rows between each leaf. That would be here, in order to make it consistent. So it depends on how much you have in your one skein. I'm working with 274 yards. So to ensure that we stick with that one skein, any adjustments you make, you want to make sure that when you start your leaf, you're on a right side row. Just because that way the instructions for the leaf are the same. So if you want to make adjustments, have fun with that. Just remember, work a right side row in order to start the leaf so that it comes out the same. Because if you do a wrong side row and following the instructions, your leaf could be inversed, and that wouldn't be helpful. So remember, we're going to repeat this section 2 more times for a total of 3 leaves. All right, so you've now completed the leaf 2 more times and completed row 16. That's the row where we skip this stitch in order to maintain the stitch count. And so as a review, you'll have 3 leaves total. And again, it's okay that it puckers, because what we're going to do is now complete the edging, the seaming, and then the edging. So I'm going to use my second color, and this is why I'm saying this is good for a single skein of yarn. I'm working with 274 yards, and then I'm using some leftover yarn. I had about 25 grams left. And so I think it'll tie in really well with this color in order to do the edging in a different color. So I put a stitch marker there so that it wouldn't roll away. But if you have, say, 300 yards or more, then you can definitely continue in that main color. So you're gonna wanna flip it over to the wrong side. And I want to use the main color for the seaming. So I'm going to pull it off to the side. So to attach the yarn, because you can attach it in the last yarn over, but what I'm going to do is a different type of join. So I'm going to pull this through. I always like to make sure it's on the side that won't slide. And then I'm just going to tie it once. Doesn't have to be too tight. But you slide it down onto the stitch. Put the loop back on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 1 time. So more or less you're making a chain, and then you tighten the other one, and this is where you can tighten the end. And then again, we're going to put this off to the side to use later. And now we're just going to chain 1, and now evenly single crochet along the edge. Again, it may stick out a bit. You can always kind of tug to adjust. So since this is all double crochet, I usually like to put 2 per stitch. But since the second color is a little thicker, I might periodically just do 1. But the goal is to evenly single crochet all the way across. And this also helps straighten out the entire piece. So continue in this manner, and then we'll meet up when we are at the end of this. And if you are working through the chainless starting double, I try to pull a loop from each side, so that's just a little neater when working. When you get to the end, so you've evenly single crocheted, when you get to the end, before completing this, grab the entire piece, put the right side facing towards you. So, got yarn everywhere. All right, and so this is where we're going to seam. All right, so let's actually complete the single crochet. Again, keep the yarn on top of the fabric, and actually make sure this is to the back, because I'm going to continue with the first color for the seam. And so I'm going to slip stitch that together and then tighten. Okay, and so this I'm not going to use. Instead, I'm going to work over this in order to secure. And since I'm using this as a seam, I'm not going to chain one. But again, I'm going to kind of tug everything, and I'm going to work into that first space on both thicknesses. And it feels, actually, because of the foundation, there we go. Make sure you're putting your hook in the right space. And then I'm just going to single crochet like so. And let's continue. So working through both thicknesses, yarn over, pull up a loop, and finish your single crochet. And it helps to kind of adjust as you go, particularly from the weight of the fabric, but just make sure you're lining up the stitches. And again, it's the same number on each end. So it's okay if you pull, if you tug and decide to tighten it. And again, this is just my preferred method to deal with those ends. And again, since I want the edging to be the same on this side, I'm just going to carry the yarn rather than cutting. But if you prefer to cut, you can. Or again, if you're using the same color because you still have enough of the main, just continue and without cutting. So we will continue in this manner, and I will see you at the end where we then make the other edge. All right, now that we have single crocheted through both thicknesses, when we're down here at the end, just like before, rather than yarning over with the same color, in this case, again, if you're using one color, just continue in the single color. But since I'm going to add that pop of color, I'm going to do my pull through with the second color, and I'm going to cut this, and now I'm going to do a repeat of this side. So I'm going to evenly single crochet around, and you have the option to work this way with the fabric inside out, or again, since it's single crochet, it may not show as much as say a double or a half double, but if you want to, you can now turn the piece right side out and then complete your edging. So you just put your hook back on. Again, kind of tighten that there. Do your chain 1 and then proceed with the single crochet evenly spaced. So I was saying before, I try to catch both loops. And sometimes that happens where you pull a little bit, but just take the hook out and then just do it again. So that's the first single crochet. Again, I like to work over my yarn in to secure it. Again, use whatever method works best for you, because you can always weave it in with a needle. So again, continue to single crochet evenly spaced, and we'll come back together after we get the round complete. Again, it can be slow going, but it's so worth the neat look of a single crochet. So we'll check back in when we get back to this first one. All right, so we are just about done with this round, making those last single crochets. And now you will slip stitch to the first one to join. And that's that. So cut your yarn. I always like to leave a generous tail to weave in. And now we have our cowl. And since it's right side out, this is where the single crochet seam was completed. It's almost invisible. And there you go. That's how you make the Leafing Summer Cowl. Enjoy!